This is an SU TV News Update, brought to you by the NDSU BookStore.
Lewis County District Court complaint has been filed against a woman who allegedly stole jewelry from her work. Ashley Marie Wisco, 29, of Duluth, worked at Security Jewelers for 2 years before her theft was discovered. Pawn records show Wisco received more than $60,000 from pawn shops through 278 transactions. During an interview on October 10th, Wisco admitted to stealing items stored away from the view of the security camera to make enough money to pay the bills. In an edition of Deseret News National, an article was done by Michael De Groot. In Groot's article, he talks about a man who spent his young life being bullied at work. In the U.S., places like the Workplace Bullying Institute offer employees and employers the opportunity to learn what workplace bullying is and how to stop or prevent it. Various studies have shown that around 30 to 37% of people have been bullied at work. Also, workplace bullying can lead to various problems like psychosomatic illnesses, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suicidal thoughts. Pamela Lutgen-Sandvik is a professor at NDSU and was quoted in this article for her comments on the topic.
What we need to do is talk about the kind of climate that they'd like to have. So people need to talk about what they believe is civil and what is uncivil and what they expect from each other.
Tactics used when confronted with workplace bullying include confronting your aggressor, talking with a supervisor, or asking coworkers for help. They warn, however, that each instance and bully is different and that these tactics might not always work. The president's approval rating has now reached new lows or tied his all-time lows in polls released over the past 3 weeks. The president's overall job approval rating is down 3 points since mid-October after being stuck in the mid-40s for several months in CNN polling. The polling was conducted November 18th to 20th for CNN by Org International, with 843 adult Americans questioned by telephone. The Bison football team entered its final home game of the season tomorrow against South Dakota, riding a 19-game win streak. Last year, the Bison beat South Dakota 56-0, but head coach Craig Bull is not overlooking the Coyotes.
No, this is a big ball game. I'm real clear about my assessment of South Dakota. They're an improved football team. All their games have been competitive. They've either won their games by a pretty close margin or they lost by a pretty close margin, so we need to be ready to go and play and win the football game.
Saturday's game kicks off at the Fargo Dome at 2:30 p.m. and can be seen on KVLY TV 11 and can be heard on radio on the mighty 790 AM. The Bison are 10-0 and South Dakota is 4-7. And now let's take a look at the weather, brought to you by MapBus. Today we have a chance of snow with a high of 19, getting down to -2 tonight. Tomorrow our high is only 9, but we'll see some sun. And for the weekly forecast, we'll see highs in the 20s and 30s with lows in the teens. Still seeing some sun this week despite the cooling temperatures. This has been an SU TV News Update brought to you by the NDSU BookStore.